Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Now on to some fun stuff, guys. We put a video up on Evolutionary and just giving you a news break, so to speak, an update. And this one's going up on EEARTS. And then we will try to get one up on Heart's Home as well today. So we had a visit last night from the Arcturians. The Arcturians work with us on a regular basis. In fact, in New Mexico, when we were in New Mexico, it seems like it was at least twice a week. They would come and work on us, but also share information. And last night was another case of working with and sharing some interesting information. These are truly benevolent beings. These are amazing beings on a very high plane of existence, as they do help maintain the karmic balance of the universe.
They're very beautiful beings. They're master healers. They're master energy workers. They take information and they utilize information and they assist humanity without stepping on toes. And they really do love and adore the world that we're living in. Much like, parents are watching children grow up and they see the children do different things and new things, the first steps and first words, things of that nature. These beings love to encourage and, really embrace that and then help humanity along the way. They're just so beautiful.
They are, and they actually operate all the way from third density up to let me think of how they were wording that, all the way up to seventh density, which, basically is it's kind of like the formative realms. It's I guess you could almost say the conceptual realms. Mm-hmm. Up in 70 and 60, we have a lot of collectives. 60 is kind of like your archetypal and collective realm, and 70 is kind of a realm of concepts and constructs that end up flowing downwards, as this is how everything works. And here we are, we're in 3D, or what we perceive as 3D, even if our toes are in 4D now all the time. Still, this density is very dense in comparison to 5D, 6D, and 7th D. And so, here things move a lot slower perceptively. But again, you got to realize that we ourselves, our consciousness is expanding throughout multiple densities. That's an important thing to recognize. And, it does vary with the individual, as individuals are on different levels here in incarnation here on Earth right now. Some are still going through let's call it the training wheel process, with belief systems where they need something to stand on. So they lean on a particular belief system and utilize it as training wheels to keep them stable, balanced, and not in fear. They need something to root and ground. And, this is something that the controllers do understand, so they will utilize it to their benefit. Yet at the same time, without any sort of belief system, we can become very, very grounded. But as we experience, this is the key word, experience, as we work within and we start to experience new things, our conceptualization and understanding of the universe grows. And then we could take off the training wheels and start to ride on our own a little bit stronger.
Mm-hmm. And we had a client one time that was very knowledgeable and very understanding about how our children grow and learn. And she really did believe, and I totally agree with her, that sending our children to school is actually kind of damaging them in a way where it puts limits. It puts limits on their energy, and they're told what they can and they're told what they cannot do, and therefore probably stunting a lot of very, very good ideas. And that's where, we roll into understanding. Controllers know this because they get to read more of the user manual for our human bodies and brains than we do. And they take advantage of that. So yes, learning to do energy healing, energy work is a process. And I do recommend that people find different modalities, study different modalities, and use that as a base ground. But in a world that we live in today where we know everything is controlled, don't think that they don't have their tentacles in everything that has to do with energy healing as well. But it is good to have something to model for you, have something that fits so you can understand, okay, well, this is good, but it doesn't feel quite right. Learn that for yourself. Learn about who you are. And this is the part of life that's so exciting when we're children and growing up and adolescence, young adulthood. You get to do all of this exploring about understanding who you are. You might not study something like energy healing, but you're getting to know yourself. And that's what we're doing here. And these beings, they're just so very kind when it comes to helping humans nurture themselves and watching humans grow and being there for us, even though many times we might feel that we're here all alone, and we might feel, where are my guides? I don't see anyone helping me. And that's because the journey is yours. If somebody steps up and tells you what's going on and what's going to happen, that's no longer your journey. And it is no easy task to get here on earth and have the experiences that we do. We are definitely master manifestors. So if you have made it here, good job.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, these are master geneticists. They are masters of so many things. They're on such a high plane of existence, and they have so much understanding. I do believe, again, there's so much that has been distorted and misunderstood. When you look to pagan circles or, Wiccan circles as well, you have something called lords of karma that are recognized. And these are beings that, they make note of everything that we're doing. Well, everything that we do is clearly visible. Every single little thing that you do is recorded. Now, it's not necessarily recorded. Well, it is in this world on AI and then camera and satellites, yes, but at the same time, it's in the ether and it can be read, again, the Akashic records. So when we start to realize the bigger scope of why we are here, we're here for soul expansion, soul growth. We're here to learn, to experience new things, to test ourselves, and to become something more than what we currently are. And, as Vishnu gave Cindy, the understanding, again, we are all creator gods in training, and as I was alluding to, yeah, absolutely. And in so many cases, we have our training wheels on, and then at some point we go to one wheel, right? So, and then we go to taking the other training wheel off, and we're just free flowing. And then at some point, you might be able to ride that bike hands free or without even pedaling. Look at you go. This is all a process, and this process typically encompasses countless lives. Yes, more than dozens, more than hundreds, more than maybe even thousands. And then the other part of this that is so very hard to understand is that what you think of as you is one solid, so to speak, one individual component of consciousness that won't be destroyed. You won't just blink into nothingness. And I think there's a lot of distortion in many traditions. And again, we're not going by what anybody said. We're going by what we're getting directly through channeling with the Arcturians, with all the Galactic Federation, with the mothers, with beings like Lakshmi and Vishnu and Isis, Set. and the Marys, Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene and Yeshua, again, Yeshua Jesus, and Babaji and Hanuman, and we've interacted with so many of these different beings over the years, and have had probably hundreds, if not thousands of hours of channelings with them, as well as our own direct knowing and experience and things that have become unveiled to us. This is what we're giving. So, it's not like we're pointing to, well, so-and-so said, and the Gnostics said, and this said. Well, again, there's so much that is, a little golden nugget in this tradition, a little golden nugget in that tradition, another one over here, another one over there. But then that's a distortion. This is a distortion. That's a distortion. This is the thing that we have to sift through. And that's good, because that's actually for our growth, because what you're doing is you're developing your ability to sift through it for yourself. So it's not about, memorizing any one particular thing. Like if you're going to memorize some of the Hermetic texts. I mean, shoot, I was so trying to decipher everything about the Bible as a 13-year-old, that I was handwriting down the entire books of the Bible. Like I hand wrote down the book of Isaiah and Daniel and these to get myself so ingrained with the prophecies and to come to revelations. And my big revelation was that the answers aren't there, and yet there is golden nuggets hidden in there. But at the same time, there's so much distortion in there. Again, the distortion, there's a natural distortion because each one of us is a different lens. It's like, going to the eye doctor, and, your eyes, each eye might be different than the other. So, over here you need a certain type of lens, and over there you need another type of lens to see clearly. And each individual is unique, looking through unique lenses. This is the purpose of there being so many different incarnated souls out there. We're all having a unique experience. And no, we're not all right. We're not all wrong. We're all just having our own unique experience. That's the biggest part of this that we have to come to understand. So it's not really a judgment, but yet there is the law of karma. So again, the simple way to look at it, and many have talked about the law of one, and we don't think the law of one is infallible, and there are some things that we're in disagreement with, but we're in agreement with quite a bit too. But again, the law of one came to us through a human vessel, and again, the human brain is purposely fallible. It's purposely fallible, and it's purposely fallible for more than one reason. We have the tinkering of the beings that we know of as the Draconian Anunnakian alliance and all. But then we have our own higher selves too, because if we pull down, and we could just pull down all the things that we know when we're on the higher densities, then there's no purpose. There's no big discovery. There's no going behind the scenes, taking on a persona and discovering. This is, in so many ways, yes, we can equate it to going deep within a game of sorts, taking on a persona that we want to play and developing the character. It really is analogous to that in so many ways. And yet, at the same time, everything that we go through, it certainly brings its pleasure and its pain.
It does, and it's very real pleasure, and it's very real pain, and this is what develops us. And when we come into this world, we come in with nothing but this body, and when we leave this world, it's the exact same way. And in between, we're going to gather a lot of things. We're going to gather a lot of items. A lot of things are going to be meaningful. A lot of things are going to be junk. But in the end, remember, we leave the same way we come out. And those experiences with loved ones, and that experience of being in love and being loved, and those experiences of loving our pets and learning, and the painful lessons in life, those are far more valuable than any one item that could be here that you've attained on the planet. So materialism is something that we do. We come into this life and we realize material things, and they are great and they are wonderful, but then we also go through a process that starts to separate us from our material things. And it really feels like these beings, they're the ones who come in, they start to help us separate from that materialistic world, that materialistic realm, and they give us guidance. They're definitely beings of a different nature, and they do see things differently than we do, and we have to remember that when we're channeling, because they don't take all the things into consideration that we do. We're the ones here on the 3D realm, so we might be given guidance, but we are still responsible for every single decision that we make. That's our decision. It's not their decision. It's our journey, not their journey, but they're very good about guiding us, helping us along, encouraging us, just being there for us. But we have to ask. If you don't ask, you don't get. And that's because of a non-interference law in the cosmos. That's one of the most important laws that there is. And they do love to teach about energy work. They're masters of so many things in this realm that cannot be seen. So you could say, materialistic is nice, it's great, and it has its purpose in this life. But when you're ready to let go of that material and really work with energy and plug yourself in and dial yourself up, then that's what they're here for.
So again, I'll complete a couple of thoughts that I started on and then gave background on. The lords of karma, in also in some traditions, things get tied into the watchers. And then the watchers get tied into the Nephilim or the Anunnaki, etc. But there are many beings that watch. There's so many beings that watch us down here with fascination, and some, most of them are benevolent beings and or somewhat indifferent beings that just kind of stand off and just observe and say, crazy humans. Wow. Yeah. Look at what they're doing now. Earth is a big show in many ways. But there's also beings that look to help us, but they're limited by our own personal karma as to how much they can help us. So again, going back to that law of one, when we are in service to others and we're trying to help the whole, it does create more of a karmic opportunity for us to be helped ourselves. And that's something else to keep in mind. As we head into this time, there's going to be a lot of opportunity to be in service to others, to help pull up others when they're suffering from many different things. There's going to be many people that need shelter, many people that are going to be hungry, many people that are going to be fearful, whatever your little niche is and where you can support people in any way you can, that's going to create a karmic balance of a positive side in your life and for your soul's growth. So this is something to consider, because when you look at the beings like Vishnu, for instance, a being that literally is a creator god on a very, very high level, he is so full of love and compassion, but it's also because he's been here. He's gone through everything that we've gone through. And this is the thing to realize. Again, this is the journey of a soul, which can go on for eons and eons and eons. It goes on forever, basically. Because again, we're consciousness ultimately, and consciousness just is something that can experience different aspects of itself in a variety of different forms. And that's what we're doing right now. Your human experience. That's what we get all the time. I was going to say, my God, that's what we hear from the guys all the time. We don't want to interfere in your human experience. It's because we're not always human. And at some point in time, you might have been an apple. You might have been an ant. You probably were. You probably were a fish. You were probably some form of animal as well. This is transmigration of the soul. This is the soul going through an evolution of ever more complex forms, being hit with more and more different challenges in a variety of ways.
And sometimes you're allowed to see and receive those memories for your own personal growth or for your own ability to connect with others and help guide others depending on your life path. Everybody has their own unique, different path, and it's ours to find. It's ours. Don't let anyone else tell you what your path is. That's the thing I think that really bothers me in the 3D is there's a lot of different jobs we can do, and there's a lot of things that we can specialize in, but it's all really controlled through the controllers. They decide what your master's degree should be in and what it consists of and how you're going to learn it. But no, I mean, to me, that's really just kind of stealing someone's path.
Absolutely. So these beings are there. They are helping us, and they are helping many that aren't even aware of them. This is the big thing. Most people don't have a clue. And, we might envision them as angelic beings, or we could envision them as extraterrestrial or interdimensional. And yeah, they're actually all of the above.
And they too are master manifestors. I mean, you can look at that energy right there, look at that drawing, and know that there is power in thought. And don't forget that, because thoughts are things. Once it's created in our mind, it's real.
Oh, absolutely. There is nothing more powerful than your mind. And that doesn't mean your brain. Again, the brain is something that is very, very limited, and it's intentionally so in multiple levels. So your consciousness is not a byproduct of your brain. Your brain inhibits your consciousness from its full potential.
And that's purposeful a lot.
Absolutely. As always, guys, thanks for your support. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.